Hello everybody, welcome back to Wappelville. Welcome back to a little bit more object source lighting. I don't know if we'll get a chance to do cast shadows here. I was kind of hoping it may or may not work out that way. We did get to do at least a little cast shadow on this. This was yesterday's stream. That was the Kathy and Jiro miniature. We had a blast working on those. We'll show you, here's another little example again of some object source lighting. I'm just going to have a few of these out here. Here's something with torch, so something along these lines, right? Now, obviously Aragorn here's got two of them. This rogue, thief, whatever, only has the one, but should still work out just fine. Here, I'm going to put this over here, just get some things out of the way. We've had our fluorescent stuff out here. Move this back. This is the fluorescent pigment powders mixed with linseed oil. Made our own fluorescent stuff there. Okay, we do have that not Fanchon Red out on the palette. I do have some of the fluorescent stuff here, not a ton of it. I got a little of the other stuff, radiance, turquoise, blue, violet, even some magenta, a little bit of the green. Might put some more green out there. Got the indigo, Mars black, might throw some more of that out there. Van Dyke Brown. Might throw some more asphaltum out there too. Hey, Dano. So Dano, that was looking really good. Obviously, you're gonna, if you have, do you have that up on Instagram now? I don't know if you do, but definitely when more folks are in here, be sure to give that a share. Yeah, definitely put that link into the chat here once there's more folks. Now it's that time again, right, Deuce? Now, sorry this was not earlier. It was a rough day here. We were not surprised by it. We were kind of expecting that it could be not easy today. I think we were able to minimize the impact of it after what we learned last month. That's what we've been talking about here for weeks. And obviously that time has come, and we had to say, okay, are some of the things that we're doing to try and make this a little bit easier, are they actually doing that? So yeah, Dano, that was looking really fantastic. Sure as heck loved the shield. And obviously, I was just glad you got a chance to sculpt again too, because I know that your work schedule has been absolutely bonkers there, and you have not had a chance to really engage in any of that. So hopefully, I don't know, would you say that it took a little bit of getting used to again? Sculpting-wise, just kind of get that mojo back. And Deuce, I hope that everything's going really good for you, as always. We always hope that things are going good for folks. And nice to see you back again. Sorry that it's later. I had hoped to do another stream basically the same time we did yesterday, but I knew, took one look at Kathy this morning, I said, nope, that is not happening. So, sorry for the delay here. But hopefully that does mean that Monday things will be kind of back on track. Oh, geez, yeah, see, Dano, I mean, it doesn't really surprise me, because, I mean, it happens, right? Oh, hey, Dano, guess what? I ran off the first prints today. Since I couldn't stream and I couldn't do some of the other work I intended to do, I had been chipping away at it, like 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, but I was actually able to. I have my second set of printing going right now. So Deuce, that's kind of an unusual, or what would you say? That's an unusual problem to have, right? That usually it's, oh my gosh, you can't. Work has done so much damage to your painting time that it makes it hard to paint at home. So that's pretty interesting there, Deuce, that it's kind of running an opposite land. Now let me see it. There we go. Let's move this here. So yeah, Dano, there was some medicines we asked for, but what those did was they let her kind of start doing some therapy type exercises and other things that just made everything stronger. So and also too, we weren't just kind of waiting to see what was going to happen. We knew what was going to happen. We said, okay, none of this food. We do this food instead. We're not going to do this. We're going to do this. So we kind of knew what to avoid and what to do. And even just the stuff we avoided, I think was huge. I think just knowing like, oh, okay, well, during these couple of days, none of this, none of this, and none of this, and none of these other things. And that seemed to be very, very helpful. Hey, Paint Laker, how you doing? Nice to see you back. Oh, by the way, this is we are starting to change our pre-glaze. We are using the Naphthol from Gamlin, which now this one, there's like 4 or 5, no, there's like 6 or 7 of them that are different. As far as Gamlin goes, there's lighter ones, darker ones. This one seems to match Fanchon Red at half the price and actually has some staining. Now, there is a difference. As you start painting, just like regular painting, I don't think it holds up as well as, say, the Fanchon Red does. But is that a surprise? I don't think so. So, Paint Liquor, I hope that you're doing well. You know, I'm actually going to get a little bit of the Egyptian Violet into this too, just for reasons. Let's do that. Thranuel, hey Thranuel, look at this. Look at this. You're 6 minutes in, Thranuel. Wow. Usually you come in and I say, oh, let's see who we can raid. I'm really glad that you were able to get here, kind of from the get-go. So do since it was a case of someone here, I like painting, and you got voluntold. So Deuce, what Armored Wolf always says in that situation is that he was voluntold to do something, which to me is pretty darn hilarious. Here, let's get into some more of the see, I keep wanting to say Fanchon Red. Maybe I shouldn't say not Fanchon Red, because it just makes me keep saying Fanchon Red. Yeah, a little more of that. And then we'll wipe this away, and then we'll hit Mr. Torch. Thank you so much, Amastig. Really appreciate that. Oh, look at the staining property here, huh? Now that's printed. That's printed. This is the Sculpey. This is printed. Wow, we got a lot of different bits here. This is from Highland Miniatures. This is from Loot Studios. This is from Artisan Guild. Wow, we got a lot of different stuff here. Halligan, how you doing? So Halligan, when I was telling Dano that when there's more people here, you know, share some links and stuff like that. Starge, how you doing? Hey, so look at that. We have, well, those rocks are getting smaller, but now we get to add some more rocks, and we get to shake that all up together. Thank you so much, Sarge. Appreciate the bitses there. Now we're gonna get a little smaller sponge into here. So Sarge, I did. Oh, look at that, huh? Now that's Egyptian Violet. Touch of that, but that's that the Fanchon, not Fanchon. Look at that. See, that's kind of a nice little thing right there going on. So Sarge, I actually did the first set of prints today because of the condition that Kathy was in. I couldn't stream earlier. I couldn't do anything that was going to take several hours of moving stuff around. Now, I had been chipping away at the printing stuff. I just kind of had to do the last little bit of it. So I actually did the first print. But guess, now, of course, Dano and stuff, you guys will, okay, get this. So sudden was the interruption of my printing back in May. I didn't realize that I had some prints just hanging off the build plate. I mean, they were just hanging off the build plate for months, since May. So because of the weather being so hot and everything, several of them actually fell off. They just like fell off the build plate and just landed in the vat. I guess they were okay prints. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to clean them off yet. But yeah, those stupid things were sitting on there since May. And I went, oh my goodness, that's not ideal. So that was, I thought you would get a laugh out of that. I certainly didn't laugh when I saw that. I was not, that wasn't a chuckle hut for me at all. I wasn't interested in that. That was no bueno for sure. There we are, look at that. See, nice little bit of pre-glaze there. Alright. How's about... Oh yeah, by the way, this is that Celtic knotwork stuff that I wanted to use on the Kathy miniature here. That was the texture roller. Oh, Sarge, this is the other one I was telling you about. This is one of the original rollers. I mean, like one of the first 3 or 4 rollers they ever did. I just wanted to make sure you had actually some people to click on the link and check it out, because you know we want you to be able to have some folks end up following you on the Instas and everything else. Hey, War Shadow, welcome back. How you doing? I figured, well, I was very shy on prepped miniatures, and this one was basically ready to go, and I even had all the colors ready. Since, well, you saw this yesterday, the thing we were painting there, that's the Kathy and Jiro charity miniature. I still don't have a definitive date on when that's going to be available, but it will be available from Dark Sword and Reaper Miniatures, so that is where you can get that. And they were super kind, super generous, and they are trying to raise some funds for us so that we can try and combat what we're trying to combat here. So Dano, if you wanted to post your Cults 3D link, ooh, I don't want to get too much of the orangey stuff there. Don't want to do that. Here we can hit this thing. You know, I think it's going to hit this side too. Not down here, not down here. So all that, it will actually just kind of be sort of a shadow there. I think it can reach down here. Yeah. That is a metal surface, so we're going to let a little bit of our lighting reach out there. Now here's where we certainly want to have some of this. Again, that's basically almost a dry brush there. So there, check out the Night's Watch there from Halligan. And again, I'm really, wow, I'm pretty chuffed that these things showed up, as the cool kids say, because I think we got some opportunities to do stuff here. Well, okay, we won't be able to do too much of the freehand stuff there. They have a lot of designs already on the shields, but I think we can do some fun stuff with these lads. I am going to try and do a basing video with them and a couple other things so that I can have a batch ready for doing some painting on stream next week. Sarge, actually, no, I don't seal it. Oh gosh, sorry, I have a wooden plaque. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Obviously the only, and I saw your wooden plaque when I saw there, this is already sanded down. That's the key thing, is you got to sand the heck out of these edges, because you think this is nice and smooth. I'll put the stuff on there and it's all super rough. So you might have to sand that once or twice, or maybe even use a little bit of wood filler there. But I definitely don't seal it because I really want stuff to have good adhesion to it. So actually, Sarge, I think I bring that up sometimes in the tutorials, but I'll have to emphasize it more. You say that there, and I say, you know what? I think while I mention it kind of in passing, I think it's important enough to really put some emphasis on it. So everybody please check out Dano's Cults 3D. Some really nifty basing stuff, some really nifty sculpts, very unique imagery, very unique style, and of course some handy dandy basing things. A little bit more of that red. So much like Fanchon Red, I almost said the interference, but the fluorescent orange works really well with that. They play nicely together. I'm going to get some more of that down in here, of course. So you can see that's starting to work out, but again, you've got to have the cooler colors, right? Must have the cooler colors. This sculpt is from Artisan Guild. They've always been another one of my favorites. I'm hoping also to, well, it's going to take months for me to get caught up on my printing. Quite literally, it will take months. So Thranduil was very, very, very simple. Mostly Mars Black and Van Dyke Brown around the peripheries here. Then as I got into here, a little bit more of the brown matter. Then it was mostly a mix of that new Naphthol red a touch of the Egyptian violet. Then we kind of wiped it away, and now this is almost like a secondary pre-glaze in a way. Just like we're starting to build some light here. Oh, thanks, Bigfoot. It's just something that it really sets a theme for an army. It doesn't really matter what the color is. There's just something about it. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be fantasy either. I mean, look at this here. So it's like, wait, what's going on back there? Why do I smell burning and vodka? He's like, nope, nothing going on back here. Nothing to see. It's like, please stop him. Like, come on, man. I wouldn't have a burning bottle of vodka on while I'm standing on a frozen fuel container. It's like, dude, you would do that, wouldn't you? So, yeah, it'll work on anything. We even did it on some of our ships. Gosh. I think it'll show up on some of these. Let me see. Where's... Oh. Well, the little freehand on the elf ships there. I'm looking for... this is it. Yeah, see a little bit of object source lighting on our ships. Sadly, I don't have my... well, you can see it there. See that one ship toward the left-hand side there? It's got the big torch on it. So we've done it even on tiny little ships as well. Let me see. So I think, yeah, Drunken Zombie. We had a heck of a lot, all kinds of crazy things, didn't we? It was so much like the Mandalorians, where we had Banjalorians. That was a bluegrass band. Then we had Blandalorians. They were office workers, all just dressed in khaki. And there were so many other ones. Thank you so much, Bigfoot. I had to have some fun doing some object source lighting on some bolt action stuff. Don't often get a chance to do it. Basically, I think the only other chance I would have if I was to maybe do a Katusha rocket launcher in the act of firing, then I could maybe throw some object source lighting on it there. But speaking of object source lighting, you can see we're starting to get into that here. Let's see. So yeah, Bigfoot, definitely if you have any other links there too. But I'm so glad that you were able to get that Instagram going there, so that people can really see and admire all your work. Here we go. And let's see, what's the other... well, that's our Dunlending army, but there's another Lord of the Rings army. Of course, well, we like to do freehand here too. So here's a wee touch of freehand. We did these guys all on stream. Had a blast with these. That was back in March. Yeah, that was back in March. That was really fun to come up with that little chapter design. All right, more of our light here. And our little skelly friends. Little skelly friends here. So this is one that I was actually going to do in a tutorial video, but I was glad that I kind of held on to it just on the off chance, like, okay, maybe we might need something to stream really quick, and maybe I don't have a chance to prep something. So I just kind of have hung on to it all this time, and I'm glad that I have. I think we can get a little bit of the light out there. Bit more of our orange over here. So at this point, oh, and two, with the object source lighting, it's so important to start out with it. So many folks, they basically kind of tack it on at the end, and they get a little bit nervous. They end up not doing it because they don't want to ruin something. And, well, what fun is that? That's no fun. So what you want to do is, if you start out with it, well, first of all, I can see there's areas that I don't have to paint with just what I would regularly paint with, right? I don't have to do much of anything else there except put the orange on that. So saving myself some time, which is good. Now, there we go. There's some of our lightest light working its way there. It's almost a pin line wash. And of course, as Grundy can tell you this, just because this is a pin line wire. Look at that. See how that covers? That's mostly thinner. So I hope that any projects you have going there are working out really well. And now, Sarge, I don't know if you wanted to share, the thing that you were showing me at all, if you wanted to. But I do hope that you have a blast with that for sure. Now, again, I'm glad that the printer seems to be working, despite the fact that I left some prints on there since May. And again, with all the heat and everything, they just kind of fell off the build plate of the printer. That was not what I wanted to have happen. Well, that's fantastic, Grumdy. So yeah, I think you heard the story, Grumdy, that I printed for the first time just a few hours ago. And as I was trying, I knew I was going to have to just empty the vat and do all that kind of stuff. What I didn't realize is that there were still prints sitting on there from May. Needless to say, most of them had fallen off or in the process of falling off. That was not what I was expecting to see. I had turned it off, but everything was so sudden back in May that I never had a chance to even look again, because I haven't been down there at all. 4 months. I think the last time I actually stood in that area for any period of time was back in August. Because, yeah, Grumdy, what I'm trying to do is get that Army of the Dead stuff printed for the next army painting series. Now, I think I'm just going to have to kind of not do the usual kind of thing that I do, like setting up the printing and all that kind of stuff. I think we're just going to have to say, I've done that on other ones. I think we're just going to have to say, look, here, I might have captured a few images of building the build plates, but otherwise, I think we're just going to have to keep that part to a minimum. Yeah, especially with the way things got so hot and humid and stuff over the summer. So fortunately, now here's the lucky part. That was the last of that particular jug of resin. So I just basically chucked it out and started up a new one. And Sarge, thank you so much for the resin, because that's actually what I used in there, was the one that you had sent here. So thank you so much, Sarge. I appreciate that. Now, this is still not the lightest we can go. Well, we can go lighter than this. But we're just trying to build to that moment here. Oh my god, we can go way, way lighter than this. But let's just work our way into it here, shall we? Because we're also going to work the other way too. We're going to build some darks into this. You must have dark to show the light. That's in the Book of Wappel for sure. Let me see if I can't just get, yeah, a little touch of it here. We have worked a little bit of the lighter opaque color in there. There we are. Now, Thranul, oh gosh, there was, remember you were talking about the Naphthol red Indian yellow combo for a pre-glaze? There was a couple of other things that I wanted to try. You know, Indian yellow mixed with such and such as a pre-glaze. See what happens. Arid. Thank you so much, Arid. Appreciate that. Everybody please give Artisan Wife a follow. And of course, Artisan Wife is going to be posting some fun Pinterest links for you. Fantastic jewelry. And of course, again, please give Artisan Wife a follow. And I think you were streaming, oh gosh, what would you say, about 6 or 7 hours ago, maybe longer. Again, it was not a great day here. Not for Kathy, for sure. So wasn't able to catch any streams or anything like that today. It was a difficult day. So everybody, please check out Arid's links, and we're hoping that today wasn't the big day. It's tomorrow. Sorry, Arid. I kind of have what's the word? Oh yeah, chemo brain. That's actually a thing. That was something that the nurse on Wednesday had told us about. I'm sorry, I'm spacing. It was either yesterday or it was either today or tomorrow. Arid just got back from game night. Well, Arid, gee whiz, you could certainly use that. Holy smokes. Well, you could use about a dozen of those, right? Yeah, you could use about a dozen of those just in the next 2 weeks to try and chill out from everything that's been going on. So Thranduil, we did that combo. I think we did in the video Thranduil. I also did Indian Yellow, and I don't think I did Terra Rosa, but I did it with Egyptian Violet, right, for some gold. I don't think I tried it with Terra Rosa yet. I think, oh yeah, we tried it with Phthalo Green. I might try it with a couple of other things just to see what it does. Yeah, why don't we get a little bit more of our lighter stuff back. Maybe more orange into that, I don't know. But at a certain point we have to kind of let this set and then maybe do some of the non-object source lighting things. Oh, by the way, 47 minutes ago, this was primer. This is 47 minutes of just playing around here, nice and easy. Now I got this transition point here. Where's our RNS Studios figure? It's kind of a good one. So we're looking to do similar things. See that? Oh, it transfers from the light to the ambient light, right? See that light, dark, and then ambient light band. And you do the same thing over here. Put you back over there, and you know what? We'll grab this. Let's start again doing something with, I don't know, the radiant turquoise and some of our radiants here. Let's just blop some stuff on here. Whatever. Do we want? No. I'm going to reverse that. I'm going to reverse till I have it coming this away so that we can almost have it like there's some moonlight or something, or some backlighting. Yeah, let's just do that. Nothing but precision brush strokes here, right? We're just slapping on some dry brushy type stuff. And here we're just letting that mix into the stuff that's already there. Look at this here. Let's grab something we can use as a blending brush, like this, I suppose. See, we just slapped that stuff on there. Oh, look what we just did here. See that? Very easy. Yeah, Pascal. So we've got several different elements. We have a texture roller piece from Green Stuff World. That's the Sculpey that we use all the time. That is a 3D printed bit from Loot Studios. 3D printed miniature from Artisan Guild. That's a 3D printed shield from Highland Miniatures. And then these are Sculpey blocks right here. The same sort of thing. Oh, here we go. Basically the same exact blocks that we used for this guy right here, and the same blocks that we also used to create this. Literally the same Sculpey blocks. Where's my Witch King? That's not him. Where is he at? There he is. So the same exact thing. Now obviously that was a decorative base, but it's also a gaming base. Why? Because those stupid flying bases for these Nazgul just fall over. There's no counterweight. So while that's decorative, it's also there to act as a counterweight for that Fell Beast and the Witch King. So it's a little bit of each, a little bit of gaming and a little bit of decor. So something that you can do as well. And that's just the white Sculpey. That's not the gray extra firm that we use for our bases. That would be the white softer Sculpey. Why? Because that lets me, I can carve that, do all kinds of fun stuff with it. Let me get some just cooler mid-tones and lights on these areas here that are not getting hit by the object source lighting. Same back here, just a little something for now. We'll probably make some changes to that. And of course the Cathy base, same thing. That's a different texture roller right there. Bulletin board cork, 3D printed bits from Pellinor, all the candles and that sort of thing. And again, just bulletin board cork, very basic stuff. Here's another. It's another texture roller right there. That's the Necron, and then the triple hex roller. So we combine 2 texture rollers there. This one is the one of the newer ones from Green Stuff World. I really like this one. That is the Regio Draco roller. And then we've got another one here. So that's yet another texture roller with some little skellies there. This one, guess what? Another texture roller. Oh, look, a little skelly friend down on his base. So, and a little arrow going through him there. So just a little something extra there. And that is definitely a gaming miniature. You could certainly use it for AOS. I suppose you could use it for Warcry. I'm not sure if you can have cavalry in a Warcry warband. Then, yeah, I kind of doubt that, but who knows. Now, that probably maybe should be more gold, but we'll just go with what we have for right now. Go with what we got for the moment. We'll get some lighter stuff in there, but first, let's see what we can do with some darks here. Oh, Egyptian violet. An old Van Dyke brown. Why not? That's dark. That is nice and dark. Boom, there we go. We just like we did with our lighter colors. What was it? What's all the cool kids that? What do they say? Oh, sketching. I think that's what they say. Well, here, yeah, we can do the sketchy stuff. Except I can take a blending brush and push all that stuff around. Here, we can do this. We can do that. Nice and neat, right? Yeah, it's totally neat. Or not. Let's get this side too. Bam. Let's just do some darker stuff here. And now all I have to do is grab, again, something that uses a little bit of a blending brush here. We have that dark. Just a little tap, tap, tap. And let that just work its way in. Same over here. All that good stuff. Over here too. These. Spread these around. Change this. Can even throw it. Look, I'm actually going to take some of that paint, lift it up, and carry it over to the other side. It's just that crazy. We can do whatever we want. Yeah, I'll carry some of that darker stuff here on there. We need to make sure that is dark enough too. Again, take that. Pushing it around with the blending brush. This is what saves you so much time when it comes to the oils. Look at that. See that? All I do is plop a light color on there, then a dark color, and push them around, and poof. That's it. Don't have to do a whole bunch, do I? We're going to get some different dark colors here. Maybe Egyptian violet and some of our not fanchon red. That would be the naphthol red. Let's work some dark back into here. Separate the fingers a little bit more. And this is still less, yeah, still less than an hour in. Less than an hour in. Look at what we've been able to do. Talking about getting those darker edges up top. There you go. Some darker edges there. Alright, well, Grumdy, I understand it's 1:13, so I totally understand you having to get some shut-eye there. Thank you so much. Appreciate that on the way out. Some bits is there. Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate that. After the stream last night and the stream on Thursday, of course, normally the Saturday stream is about, in the old days, used to be 10, 11, 12 hours long, something like that. And that was on top of about a 4-hour Thursday stream and a 5 or 6 hour Friday stream. Obviously, those days, well, you'll know when they come back because I'll be able to do them. But we're still a ways away from something like that, unfortunately. I sure as heck am looking forward to it. When that happens, then you'll know Kathy's getting a lot better because I'll be able to do more of this. And well, she's looking forward to that day too, because that would mean she's better. Obviously, it's going to be difficult for a substantial period of time. There we go. Nice little, not just a shadow, but an edge. Here, let's get some more stuff on their face here. There. Then we'll have to get some light into her eye as well. We'll have to get some skin tone in there. We haven't forgotten about that either. But I think I might throw a couple of maybe some actual light colors here into the armor. See what happens with that. I'm just going to throw a little drop on that. Because what that's going to do is going to set on there, and it's just going to sort of break that down a little bit. It's going to get that weird, funky cottage cheese texture right now. Ooh, that's a little too thin. Yeah, we're not looking for a pin line wash here. Now we'll see if we can tack on some nice lights for the armor. Still not the lightest light either. Can actually go a little lighter than this. More here. Let's get the blood channel on the sword. We got to get the lighter stuff here. Bit more there, and that also really shouldn't be red at all. Okay, and we'll get our blending brush back in there, spread some of that around. You know, this could be could get some rust on it or something here. That's doesn't really have to be so much with the red on that side of our skelly friend. Start to change that around a little bit too. Get the fuzz off the end of that brush. Not going to play around too much with the stones here because I like using that as a little place to just set my hand or my finger or whatever. Get some more of our lights back onto the elbow here. A little more reflected light maybe on that side. I'm running a little shy of it over there. Now we'll let that set. I'm just gonna do a little Terra Rosa, Brilliant Yellow Pale. See if we can do some regular skin tone here. I mean, yeah, it's nice to have all this shadow and everything, but we also have to have just some regular skin tone in here too, because that's not actually, there is no object source lighting over there. I might. Okay, now that we did some of the green. Indigo? Nah. Well, okay. A little bit of that also. Prussian blue. Which I think we'll let a little bit of our radiant blue get in there. Alright, let's see what this can do. Another different cool color to have over here. Something a little bit different than the cool colors that we have here, like the green. Well, Doji, sorry that it's been so insanely busy there that it's kind of kept you from the painting for so long. Hopefully that just changes for you. I know you've really been jonesing for that for quite some time. Okay, we got the green in, and now we're getting a little bit of our blue in there. So it changes that color a little bit, cools that down, right? All the warm stuff over here, all the cool stuff over there. Ogre, how you doing? Nice to see you back. So Ogre, I hope that you're doing well. Well, happy Sunday morning to you. It's at 1:35 in the morning here. Got working. I got some kind of a sky bluish color to the metals here, just to have a color contrast as much as a value contrast. I mean, nothing wrong with value contrast, but you need to have some temperature contrast in there as well. This, I was wanting to have that be more something like a gold here. I don't know if we can, I don't know how much gold we can get into that, but first, how's about, I'm going to try and establish my lightest object source lighting in some places here. So there's the fluoro yellow, a little brilliant yellow pale in there. Let's see just how light we can do this on some of the metal surfaces, I suppose, in particular. Like this. Down there. The other edge of the lid right here. Ooh, that's going to be perfect, Doji. Let me just do a couple little tidbits right here. And then, because I want to obviously couple that with a film noir. Right, we want to do a little film noir with that. Boom. Right there. Now, this will be kind of a key area here. Well, a little bit there too, but this is kind of the key transition point. So take a look at what that looks like now. And then we're going to talk about a couple of our... Alright, you have to really make those colors darker. If you're going to do object source lighting, what did we say? You must have dark to show the light. Now, there's a couple of things here that we're going to show you with the film noir. Like this. Contrast is more than just light versus dark. Because guess what? Color intensity and temperature. Fluorescent orange. Very intense, warm color. We've been using a lot of bluish grays, right? And we got metal. That's also got to reflect its surroundings. So as we go back to our scene and we do this, zoink. Oh, wait. The object source lighting pretty much disappeared, didn't it? It's gone. It's there, but it's not just the light that you think it would be. It's this. Look at here. It's like magic. It returns. So those are cooler colors that are grayed down, warmer colors that are more intense. That's a whole different form of contrast, isn't it? So Ogre, that is just linseed oil. I don't have a small enough container, but well, here you can see that's linseed oil right there. I just mix it with linseed oil, and I just mix it by hand. There's no putting it in a jar and shaking or anything like that. I just will stick it in some kind of little plastic container like this, or whatever, something like one of these soft, smushy ones here, something like that. I'll just shove it into there, and I'll just take the one of my junky brushes or something like that and just mix it by hand. And Doji mentions the Patreon there. I have several of those, right, Doji? And we're about to add another one. So Doji, I don't know if you had a chance to hear, but Megan was kind enough to send me a couple of more of those Marbler fluorescent pigment things. So I was going to take some of those. I was going to mix them up because there was a magenta and a violet. And I also want to put them in the, oh gosh, what the heck are they? The nail polish jars. Because I've never done that on camera. So I want to see, want to show people what possible is there. Hey Bithron, how you doing? MTelly's its Instagram has been really weird. Again, it's almost useless for me on my phone. I can't post anything there on my phone because none of my pictures show up in my gallery when I go to post them there to do a post. So that's why I've had to just do it on basically on my laptop, which is not ideal. Yeah, Doji, I mean, it's nothing super impactful, but I don't know. I think it'll be interesting just to at least have that on video somewhere using the nail polish containers because we've talked about them for a while. And I've been wanting to do them for a long time. Obviously, the filming schedule has just been 4 months, been completely thrown out of whack. We're trying to do our best to sort of reverse that a bit. So Hein Welters, again, I'm trying not to jinx myself because I have another round of stuff on the printer right now. So who knows? Again, with printing, you just never know. Yeah, MTelly's, I'm glad you're able to figure that out. But yeah, I just kind of had to give up on it. I'm sure it would still be doing the same thing to me then if I tried doing that again. But it's not everybody, right? Because it seems like lots of people are still able to post to Instagram, except, well, you and I can't. Or at least not the way we're used to. So not sure what the heck is up with that. Hey, Nganes, nice to see you again. So again, for the folks that didn't get to see last night's stream, this is the Kathy and Jiro charity figure. Painted this up on stream. Dark Sword miniatures and Reaper miniatures, they are combining to, again, try and raise some money for us here. So we really appreciate everything that they do. We also appreciate what Nganes has done. That's 2 baker's dozens, Nganes. Thank you so much. Well, Heinwelter, sorry to hear about the printing issues there. You know, I don't ever like to hear that. Never like to hear that at all. 1 second here. There we go. Just trying to get this, there. Fan was starting to make some noise. Alright, let's do a little bit more of our lighter stuff here. Now, I'm glad that it's not too expensive to fix there. Yeah, so Nganes, that was really, it was kind of fun to get to do that, especially with Jiro. Especially with little Jiro there. Alright, let me see if I can do something with this thing here. Alright, maybe that's going to help. Let's see. So, yeah, Hein Welter. Oh, thanks, Hein Welters. Yeah, we've done an awful lot of object source lighting stuff over the years. And you just kind of, you really get a flavor for it. And it really is very simple. I know it seems super complex, but it really is not all that complex. You do have to kind of think about it a little bit and Be patient. That's another key thing, is not being hasty. And let's do a little bit more of our lighting right there. Some more here. Not too much, because you also have to think, well, how much is, say, the hair even blocking that? Let's see if we can get some more of our light going this way. These are just those little scopy blocks, and you can see we tried to break them, and I'll maybe try and put some cracks into them as well. We'll do that too. We'll probably come back in here and do a little bit of brushstroke maintenance as well. But this thing here, it's gonna be tricky, but somehow we've got to work in maybe some gold on that. Yeah, this particular bit right here, that's 3D printed from Loot Studios. Now, their stuff, their basing bits, you generally, for 28 mil, you're going to want to shrink them down. Hey, Seminar. Yeah, so that is the same stuff we were using last night, Seminar, and hopefully, well, I know you got all the links there. Let's see, so War Shadow, I don't have, well, let's see, the last new paints that I've ever had from Reaper it was one of the new, and this, we're talking 2019, it was one of the new liner paints that Anne had made on my request. That's the last new Reaper paint that I've had. So, geez, War Shadow, when did they come out with those? Yeah, well, Heinwelter's, you heard me talking just last night, right? How I typically would be printing 24 hours a day. So Seminar, again, at some point tomorrow night after the More Than Dice podcast, I'll be trying to shoot that video that I was telling you about with it's just a different fluorescent powder. Obviously, for me, it takes much longer for the Green Stuff World powders to get here. These are just some powders I get off of Amazon. Not exactly the same wide variety. I think there's only 5 maybe, whereas Green Stuff World has many more than just the 5. So again, have to think about some shadow there, trying to get a little bit more of our light here. Let me see if we can get a little more light into here. So, and Seminar, I want you to see what the these can. Oh, I got one right here. So these things here, I made these years and years ago, and there's some of them that are still completely viable today, 6 years later. Thank you so much, Woody. I appreciate that. Woody McWorster, Woodster, thank you so much. Appreciate that. And actually, well, here, wait a minute. Where is he? Here he is. Right? Is this Woody? No, this is Woody. Let me get some of the dust off of him. So there's, this is one of our characters that we did, something we painted up on stream. His name is Woody. He's actually from RN Printable Terrain. We painted him up on stream, in 2020, I think it was. That was also done with the oils. So thank you so much, Woody. I appreciate that. There's your namesake right there. Oh, that was so much fun. I haven't seen him in forever. Thanks, Woody, for letting me kind of dust that one off and bring that one out here. So yeah, War Shadow, I didn't know that they had... so are they sort of like the contrast type paints, or are they more like the transparent paints from, what is it, Pro Acryl? What were they kind of thinking behind those guys? What they were wanting to achieve with them? Now again, not going to put any of the stuff down there because just the body itself would act as a bit of a shade right there. Oh yeah, let's get a couple of darks going in here too, if we can. Something there. There we go. A little separation there. That's very important. Ah, well, that's really cool, War Shadow. I'm glad. Hopefully they're doing really well with those. A successful release. Oh, yeah, let's just take a little bit of the objects, or maybe bring a little bit more back in. I just want to take some of that down here. Now, who knows? Maybe we can get them to send stuff, send some of those over this way, and we can try out the same thing that we do with the contrast paints, where we'll take them and mix them with some kind of a lighter opaque color. I'm going to move this over just a smidge more, trying to tighten up that edge a little more. Now this edge here, what can I do that will tighten up that one? That's actually that really dark indigo. We're still going to get something lighter over there on that sword blade, I believe. Yeah, definitely have to get something lighter there too. See if I can't maybe throw a little bit of our, there we go, a little bit of indigo into that. This just has to be darker, otherwise our orange light not going to do very much, right? Go back over here, even though it's got some indigo in it, I'm going to back over there, get some of that bluish color, because we don't need the orange down there. That's better. Now we'll grab some of this. That's the radiant blue. Throw a little bit of that over here. Don't want to go too crazy with that. Here, let me get some of my fast matte white over here. Alright, well, Salmon Art, you have a good one. Thanks for joining. And also, thanks for signing up for the Patreon page. Appreciate that so much. And Bitron, if you wanted to pop your Instagram links to some of your MCP stuff there. I know you haven't had a chance to do that yet. Wow, oh, I still have to get some more dark on the underside of this. Wow, that's... I didn't think I needed to, but yeah, I'm going to have to get me some more dark on the underside of that. This. Now, I'm just going to get this, because there's a little bit of the blue in there. Then this yellow will turn that greenish. We don't need that. See if we can get a little touch of our lightest sort of yellow-orange color here. See, if I had done this, what are we looking at? An hour and 37 minutes in. If I had done this about an hour, well, about an hour and maybe 5 minutes ago, that never would have stuck there. Why does it actually stick there? Because that paint has had a chance to set. Is it dry? Oh, heck no. That's going to be fun. Actually, you know, Bitron, sometimes the cooperative games or you know, that's going to be very fun. So yeah, well, again, I don't get to play miniatures games anymore, obviously. Hoping that I can just do the battle report type things. At least then I can get to play something. I'll be filming or streaming those. But hey, maybe I get to play something actually. Very relieved that I don't have to drill a hole in the ceiling to be able to do that. Can we get some more reflected light here, maybe? That I'm gonna... Let me see what happens. Where's my orange? That would be too much. Okay, that's better. Basically just doing a little bit of a dry brush onto there. Because otherwise, yeah, that would have been way, way too much. Yeah, that sounds really cool there, Bitrun. Yeah, hopefully, at some point I have that chance to actually play something myself here. You know what? I'm just going to use this crazy greenish gray here. For now, then maybe we'll throw some of the Indian yellow into that. Something like this. Okay. Let's see what that does. That's literally a fluorescent yellow-green. A little too much. Cut that back a little bit. There we go. So Sarge, hopefully, well, that's 1:57, so I'm guessing you're gonna, even though it's your time off there, you're probably gonna have to head out soon just to chill out and sleep. Of course, definitely hoping everything works out. No. We'll mess with that here, though. Gonna see if I can get a little bit of this reflected light there, but see, it's not orange. Yeah, the Oathmark figures definitely. I mean, for the price, now I'm sure that some other stuff is more expensive than other stuff, but for the price you get a lot of extra bits. It's kind of like the old style GW kits, which is always cool. Back in the days when you actually had all kinds of alternate heads and hands and torsos and stuff, and you could actually build things the way you wanted to. Instead of, here's these instructions, and man, you better follow every last bit of those instructions. Just not super enjoyable, that's for sure. Now here, well, I think we're missing some of our dark there. That's what we'll do here. We'll just grab whatever. It's almost some of our original pre-glaze right here. And we'll see if we can darken some of this down. Much better. Sometimes you just have to make things darker. You can highlight the heck out of something. Eventually you can't highlight it anymore. And that's it. You can only go so far. And then you're just going to have to start going the other way. You're going to have to get some dark on that miniature. So there, I think that we're starting to finally establish some other kind of mid-tone there besides only a lot of these oranges here. Hey, Surface Tension, how you doing? Everybody please give Surface Tension Painting a follow. And of course, Surface Tension, if you could please post your links there so people can check out what you've been doing. That would be fantastic. Oh, jeez. Sarge, sorry to hear that. I think I jinxed you. I definitely must have jinxed you there. Now, this is a really good time for a film noir. Oh, it's a fantastic time for it. So, all these warm colors that are very intense, right? Highly saturated. Cool colors, not intense. So get them right about there. And we'll do one of these. That's film noir. So, no different. Look at that. Our object source lighting, for all practical purposes, disappears. It's gone. Right? Now, again, look at the wall. And then what this area does. Even down here and I guess on the floor too. When we bring back our color. And there you go. Look at that. You can see how the cooler colors really contrast with all that red in the background. And everybody please check out the link that Surface Tension Painting just posted. And again, You'll be really glad that you did. It's fantastic stuff. One-page rules, you know. At some point, we're just gonna have to get some one-page rules. I would probably, and Bithron is gonna. We'll give Bithron one guess. He knows exactly what. Well, there's several things from one-page rules that would be fun, but he knows that the Tomb King stuff would probably be my first choice out of the one-page rules. Because I've seen that stuff printed, and it looks pretty darn good. So surface tension, I hope that it also made it nice and quick for you there. I mean, this is 1 hour and 45 minutes in. Yeah, that whole thing there, 1 hour 45 minutes, and that's it. Doesn't have to be difficult. This is why we can do object source lighting on an entire army. And it actually takes less time. It makes it easier. It doesn't make it harder. It actually makes it easier. Now here I'm going to have to come back in with some of my dark there. You know what? Oh, Bithron. Who knows? Maybe it's a 50-50. Maybe we have to 1, 2, 3. It's going to be Tomb Kings. 4, 5, 6. It's going to be lizards. Well, that's it. Well, I mean, we've printed out a decent amount of each, but see, I already have. I have to print out more lizards from Archvillain, so maybe it would be Tomb Kings first, because we have the lizards to print out from Archvillain. Oh yeah, definitely. Actually, I know they do, Bithron, because you sent me links to both of them. You said, okay, yeah, there's Tomb Kings, because I wasn't sure they still had them, and then you said, oh hey, look, they got these too. So yeah, you definitely sent me both. And surface tension, it really just makes so much sense, because all of this, I didn't do any of the regular colors, if you want to call them that. I just let this take over everything, because it would. And, you know, there's so little to paint, right? There's no guesswork on the colors there. You can pretty much tell what you're going to need really, really easily. So why not establish it right away, right? Well, surface tension, oh gosh. I actually do have some videos about that on the Patreon page. The key thing, I'm just looking to see if I have an example for you here. Well, I don't know. Will this really? So okay, so we got the. You see how that color is just much cooler? And oh, wait a minute. Wait a second. Oh no, this one's not. That one's blue-gray. Basically, what you want to do is have a. Oh, where's my? So you would have a darker, cooler red. So you mix maybe this with some Egyptian violet, or this with some Prussian blue or something like that. So this red is a cooler red, so that these warm. So it's the same thing, less saturated, right? So if you have this, even mixed with perlene black, that's that dark green. So you take a dark, cool red, you mix it with a green. Oh, wait a minute, something like this here. There you go. See how those are cooler reds? Look at this. So see those cooler reds versus this warm orange right there? That'll get you some contrast. Even though he's red, there's a little bit of a difference between those, right? Super high intensity orange, and this is much, look at that. Look at those much cooler, darker reds. So that should give you a little bit of contrasty stuff there. Not actually adding any paint to this. I'm just taking the brush here and kind of leveling out some of this paint. Can do the same over here. Just level this out a little bit. Touch more there. me see if I can... Where did my brush go? Just had that one in my hands here. Gonna add a little bit of this really strong dark down here. I need to thin that down, but not so much that it turns into a pinline wash. There's also a whole lot of fuzz there. There we go. That is the dark that we needed here too. Sometimes, like I said, you just gotta go darker. That's going to need some reflected light though. Well, first do this, because the pre-glaze didn't quite get everything there. That's good enough. And then back to this crazy, looks like a grayish magenta here. All that is, just some reflected light. Oh, how come there's none over there? There's some. Do I want to go any lighter? I don't think so. I don't think we need to go any lighter with that. Now here, might need to pin line. Yeah, that's just pin line wash. Some darker stuff down in here. Some Van Dyke brown and the indigo. Why not? See how that's going to work. And let that just sink down into that crevice there. Much like we're going to let those bits sink down into this cup here. Thank you so much, Surface Tension. Oh boy, it is it's definitely the silly Marillion here, is it not? And thank you so much. Appreciate that, Professor Wappel. Thank you so much. And it's like, you're not hanging out in Moria, are you? Not looking for Mithril. He's like, I think you got the wrong system there, dude. He's like, fly, you fool. Oh yeah, he says that a lot. That would be Shadowfax there. That would be Shadowfax. So thank you so much for the sub. Thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate that. You know, we need to get a little bit more of a darks in there. Want to do some cracks in the stones here. See if we can do something here that makes it look like we've got some actual cracks in some of these stones. Somewhere I've got, let's just use this one for right now, maybe. Some of that Van Dyke brown. It's got to be relatively thin down. And that's just good. Whoops, not that much thinner in it. So surface tension, I guess, how much are 100 silly Marils worth? And how many rings of power could you potentially add, like the elven rings, right? Add a few silly Marils to them. Basically, anytime you try and use them, something comical happens. So they're the most feared rings of all Middle Earth, because you never know what kind of bizarro thing might happen. Just trying to create a couple little cracks here, because, well, reasons. There's another one. So we can do one down there too. Certainly be able to do one over here. I think we should probably, yeah, we should get some dark over here on this edge of the stones. I'll just use this as a blending brush here too. It's another one of our beatable craft brushes. Same deal there. We'll try doing some of that on this side of our stones. So it's not just a lighter, but it's also a cool color. Or, sorry, darker, but it's also cooler. Very important. Alright, I don't think we need to darken that down anymore. So let me get to... I think I'm going to try and get a little bit more of my lighter orange up on the skin tone here. I just had to wait for some of that to set. None of this is dry, of course. That would be quite the puppet show. You know, actually, well, now we have some more wargs. Actually, well, there was a little bit of a revolt when we had the goat rider here. So actually, Guahir is going around. He's telling all the animals of Middle Earth that they shouldn't allow themselves to be ridden anymore. That's kind of dangerous for us, wouldn't you say, Surface Tension? Because this is a cavalry channel. So all of a sudden, that could make it difficult to have a cavalry channel if there's nobody riding anything. AD, I hope that you're doing well. So AD, it looks like Erican wife had some possible good news with the open house today. Nah, I don't want to jinx anything by saying it, but she might have actually had some good luck with the open house. Hopefully your day, your Saturday was a good one. And of course, everybody please give AD Creations a follow. And of course, AD is going to be posting some really fun links for you to see some amazing sculptures and sculpts. Yeah, again, I don't want to say anything else that would jinx it, but she was encouraged, to say the least. That was a nice change, right, from so many weeks of discouragement on that front. I actually did get the printer printing some stuff. I'm on the second round of printing here. After the stream, I'm going to set up a third round, and we're just gonna have it cranking stuff out perpetually now. Thank you so much, Bithron, for doing that clip. I appreciate that. Now, here we go. Do some light there. So we're just trying again make these cracks look like they have a little something going on in them here. Little something from our Torchlight over there. So again, AD, if you want to post some links in the chat there, as we try and take brilliant yellow pale, possibly a little bit of our fluorescent yellow there. Let's see if we can make even a little touch lighter flame here. Right at the base, this is where you want the lightest stuff to be, not at the top. And you really don't want the top of your flame to be black. I've seen that too. That's really not going to give you much of a fiery look. You really want the top of your flame to be more just like a yellowish orange at most. Definitely not black. Yeah, Surface Tension, very simple stuff. Just some Army of the Dead from Kurzlik Miniatures for an army painting series. Hoping that, well, I had to, there was a little bit of mischief that happened because I had to abandon the printing stuff so quickly back in May that there were some prints. There was finished prints hanging off of that build plate since May. So yeah, that required some emptying of the vat and some other precautionary measures. Just going to get that little piece of fuzz off of there. Now AD, I think they've seen it so many times in different GW things or whatever. That was kind of the GW way of doing flame. That they just kind of do it, they think that's what they should be doing. And of course, so they're also not making the base of the flame all that light. They kind of start with orange and then work their way to black, when really flame is pretty much white hot or blue hot. So yeah, if there's going to be any color to the base area of your flame, it would be blue and not yellow or orange. Now, sometimes, especially these days, you have more smoke that's sculpted into things. And now that's a whole different thing there. If you got some smoke going on, I could see that. But yeah, it's just straight up flame. And for whatever reason, people are throwing black on the end of it. It's just, I don't think you really want that. Hey, Sean Allen, how you doing? I guess apparently she is immune to flame. Maybe, what is that, those spells that make you immune to fire damage or something like that? Surface tension, fortunately, yeah, it was just setting in there. I think the reason the stuff fell off is, well, of course, it was kind of toasty, right? It was getting toasty down there. I don't think that would have happened in the wintertime. Or maybe it still would have happened even in the winter. I got really lucky in that I was at the end of a container of resin anyway, so the little bit that was left in that, I could just chuck the whole thing out and start with a brand new container. Now, all I printed was just some small, basically infantry-sized miniatures. Nothing huge, not a bust or a giant 8-hour print or something like that. And I'm still not going to do one of those tonight. I'm just going to maybe do something that's about 4 hours or something. I might, well, no, I think I'll just print another Army of the Dead thing and then do some of the Make It Epic. I need to print out some Make It Epic basing bits so that I can base the Conquest stuff. Now, of course, the Martells, well, I was thinking of using texture board. Well, we do have a few units of Martells, but there are these things, and these were supposed to be desert rocks. Who knows? Maybe I should print out some more of these and have these with the Martells, but just use them as desert rocks instead of as glittering caves rocks. Thank you so much, Sean Allen. Appreciate that. Let's see. So here, this is something we were painting last night on stream. This is the Kathy and Jiro miniature. Reaper Miniatures and Darksword kind enough to manufacture this, and they're going to use the proceeds of this to try and help us out with all the financial stuff that we have to get through here. So again, very thanks to Darksword and Reaper. I'm pretty sure over the next week or two they will have those available for sale. So yeah, we got some Cav that's printing right now, just a couple of them, I think. Again, hopefully those work out. The whole idea was to try and let's see, the original army painting series we did was all in acrylic. Now these were some of the ones in oils. I want to try and show them what we did here with this. Thank you so much, Sean. Appreciate that. Thank you so much for the bit. Oh my goodness, look at that. That's looking a little bit short there. Yeah, AD. Oh, the other thing to it. Oh, cactus. Well, gosh, I wasn't really interested in printing out cactuses, but they do have prickly pear and that sort of stuff. I don't know. Maybe I need to print out some just regular old cactus. But I've seen, or cacti. See what I did there? So glad that you're doing okay there, Sean. Yeah, surface tension. I know sometimes the Kurzlook supports get a little bit jinky. And obviously, I would rather just make my own supports for those. At least I know that the Make It Epic supports, those pretty much work every single time. But Kurzlik, they've kind of bounced around. The original things had like 1,000 times too many. I mean, it was like a forest of supports. Now I also have to do the Kolbe's stuff because he's got that Kickstarter going with all basically Shield Maiden type stuff, which is really good. Basically female Rohan. So Sean, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Actually, Sean, what kind of stuff have you been working on of late? I know that for a couple of folks, life has kind of stepped in and really sort of messed around with their painting and stuff. For whether it's work, school, kids, kids in school, kids not in school, whatever. So yeah, we gotta... Oof, there's just a couple of drops left in there, holy smokes. That's no good. That's a very, very sad sight indeed. So, gonna let the orangey stuff stay there. There's my blending brush. That needs to be tightened up right here too. Oh, that's got an awful lot of thinner in there. I didn't realize there was that much there. Now working on the human skeleton again, and Sean, of course, if you have any Instagram pics or Discord links or anything like that, you want to share those in the chat so people can see what you've been doing. Well, that would be really cool. See if I can't just tighten up that line a little bit more. There we go. That just about does it. See if I can't work a little bit of dark in there, and then this. Something needs to change, or something maybe like that. Okay, let's throw that in here. Nah, no problem there, Sean. Well, Instagram has been acting really weird anyways, well, at least for me and some of the other folks in the chat too. I don't know if anybody else has experienced all kinds of weird stuff with Instagram. Let me get this dark on the underside of this, but it's also it's kind of like an indigo color there. So it's not just a dark, it's also a cooler color, which hopefully is going to give us a nice little contrast. Should I try and get a little bit more dark on the upper lip here? Why not? There we go. Okay. Yeah, that tightens things up a bit there. Actually, well, surface tension, the last message, it was the zombies and skellies. Actually, surface tension, I think, I don't know, maybe it just thought zombies were, didn't like zombies. I don't know. It's weird what it gets hung up on and what it doesn't. Because there's other things I'm just like, how in the world does that get through? And then there's something else I'm thinking, what's the deal there? Why is it even noticing that? So it's really weird. Now well, especially since Armored Wolf is he is away at shows pretty much for a while here, and there would be times, of course, where people would bring things up or whatever that wasn't something we wanted to have floating around. Oh, some old Citadel minis from the wow, those are some real, those are beyond classics there. Those are rarities for sure. Alright, just add a smidge of dark right there. Also to this. Darker that is, the lighter everything else is around it. And again, this is a little over 2 hours in. That's it. Fabulous miniature from Artisan Guild Miniatures. It's I think it's part of their Thieves Guild or Trouble in Taverns or something like that. I could swear that's what it's called. There, maybe a little bit more with their cracks there. Yeah, surface tension, it's really bizarre. There'll be times where it's like, how in the world does that one get through? And then there's others, something that I'm like, I can't even understand what it could possibly. Oh, I guess like anything that's abbreviated, right? Those OMGs and that sort of stuff. I think it gets kind of sensitive to those because I guess people will use those as code to try and do stuff in people's chat. I don't know what the heck it is, but yeah, it'll get kind of jinky about abbreviations and such. And other things that'll somehow contrive as bullying. Somehow, not sure how, but it says that's bullying. I'm not sure how that happens, but weird. There we go. Okay, that's another thing here. We never did get our sharper edges down here. There, nice little sharp edge there. So yeah, Army of the Dead. I think it was series 4 or 5 or something like that, maybe. But that was done back in the acrylic days, so I was hoping to try that same thing, but not just with the oils, but with the fluorescents that we have. And actually maybe try the 2 different fluorescents that I have. Because I got 2 different versions, the Marblers and the Green Stuff World. So maybe I've got the blue. Yes, that's right. We could use the blue from Green Stuff World and then maybe the green fluorescent from Marblers. Let's see if there's any real difference in the way those handle. To me, I don't really notice any difference at all. I've used them both. No, I was thinking of going a little bit darker. No, I'm going to actually take Mr. Blending Brush here. We have this. That's way too light. As is that for something that almost is in shadow. So see, we're just using that blending brush to tone it down. We didn't wipe it away completely. Just a little bit of tap, 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 and all it does is tone that down. We have a couple of other areas. I see them here with some cracks in the stone. Paint some of those out. I used to actually sculpt those things in and carve them in, and after all I said, nah, they're that fine. It's almost better to paint them in. Doji, you have a good one. Thanks for hanging out as long as you could. I know that you have to get off and do some other things. So thank you so much, Doji, as always. And you too, AD. Everybody, please give AD Creations a follow. And AD, if you wanted to post your post a little link to some stuff there before you head out. Now what else? It's 2:32 here. Now I'm going to just very quickly here blast in some of our lighter stuff. Now look at that. See how that's darker? Look at it. See how light that side? Look at how dark that side is. Gonna turn this around. So that tells you that the paint's actually mixing here. Just like it is up here. See how that's actually mixing? That's not just a plain old dry brush, right? You can see that it's actually blending there. Imagine if you could do that. sure as heck is easy enough to do with the oils, right? Look at that. Nice and easy. Everybody, please check out the links there from AD Creations. Oh, and Dano, if you wanted to post your Colts 3D again, I know it's been a while, and we got some more folks in the chat, so why not go ahead and post your Colts 3D in there? Alright, so again, cooler color. Look at that difference between, see that cooler color there, all these warm, intense colors over here. Boy, I still am tempted right in here to grab something like our not Fanchon Red. It's a little too sick. Ah, there we are. And here too. Might have to thin that down. Boy, it's right on the cusp of where I wanted it to be. I think we'll just, yeah, here. See, we're doing a little bit of stippling there. It's also another way of getting some blending in there. Flight Sim, how you doing? Oh, your dwarven bust. Gee whiz, Dano, I forgot all about that. Sorry. That was really amazing. Yes, the dwarven bust. So, Flight Sim, I hope that you're doing well. Let me see. Thing there. I can't really get much more in the way of light on those. Maybe a tiny bit. Tiny bit, but that is all. Let me see if I can use this as a micro blending brush here. So basically we have this hard, weird line there. Ah, there we go. So it gets rid of the line. Okay, we got our skin tone in there. We have some darks down here. But yeah, I'm going to see if I can't throw a couple of points of light on that other pad there. Or sorry, the other piece of armor there. Probably just stick with this here, this brilliant yellow pale. Again, thin it down. Like so. I think we got the end of that pretty well, but I want to do just a bit right on the end there. And then a little bit over there. Oh, this is another thing too about the oil. See all this paraphernalia here? Well, the oils make it really easy to actually get the paint down in there. That was acrylic, and you have to do that layer by layer, right? It'd be really tough to layer any of this stuff, but with the oils, hashtag no layers, so it doesn't matter.